Hey party people, how's it going? I'm happy to be here. I've been thinking about you all a lot, and I have been thinking about recording another video, and I have all these ideas, and I actually wanted to share. Well, first of all, thank you to my new subscribers. I've seen there's been a few people who've subscribed to my channel, so welcome. It's a little sporadic right now, but I am still working on coming up with a schedule. And thank you to all my loyal and steadfast subscribers and watchers and supporters and friends. I really am grateful that you're here. And yeah, so this is one of my goals for this video project thing, is to just get organized, get in my calendar, and start to like plot out videos. Because I think part of what makes these sporadic is that I get in my head about them, and I'm like, I either have a billion things that I want to talk about and feel overwhelmed and so don't talk about anything, or I feel like these bouts of negative self-talk where I'm like, well, why am I adding to the internet chatter? I don't know what I'm talking about. What do I have to add? What's the point? No one cares. And it's not even like depressing or self-pitying. It's just like, no one cares. It's not that important. But some of you do care, and I appreciate it, and I care about you as well. And this does matter, even though I don't always know what this is or why it is. It's just a fun thing to do, so what the hell, let's keep doing it. And I'm going to add some organization to it, so then I can start to like plan topics in advance. Maybe that will help. We'll see. This is kind of a grand experiment, so thank you all that are coming along for the ride and who have stuck with me and are hanging in there. I really appreciate it. So today I kind of have two things I want to share with you. One is about where I'm at now, which is kind of in a funk. And I share about this before, and I've shared ways to get out of the funk. And sometimes there's just no getting out of the funk for me. I really believe, I think this is true, that our thoughts cause our feelings, which cause our actions, which cause the results. So our thoughts create our lives, essentially, if you shorten that, condense it down. So I've just been feeling really heavy today and really bummed out. I had told myself that I was going to take a hike today. I had put it in the calendar like a week ago. I really need to be out in nature. That's a huge, important part of my recovery and my mental health and well-being. And I've been getting little bits here. I'm always at a park or barefoot or something, even if we're just 15 minutes, but I really wanted like a day-long hike. And then last night, it was just kind of, I am back in school. I have one more semester, and so I had my first week last week, and I was just looking around my house and thinking, it's kind of a mess. I've got a lot of new things on my plate. Like, I'm in transition again, which is stressful and challenging, even when it's good stuff. Even when it's positive, transition is stressful. And so I've got like all these new assignments and all these new people that I'm meeting and all these ways that I need to adjust my day to prepare and like do a good job this semester. So I was thinking like, well, maybe we'll just cancel the hike and I'll spend the day kind of tidying up and tying up loose ends and planning a new schedule and just sort of feeling like I've got some ground under me. I'm laughing because one of the things I study is about how there is no ground, and that's part of our suffering, is that we're always trying to put ground underneath us. It's kind of Buddhist. Anyways, so I always kind of laugh when I'm like, I'm trying to get some ground under me, and it's like, haha, that's not possible. But you know what I mean, like just feeling prepared, feeling ready as much as possible. And instead today, I feel like my negative thought that I finally pinpointed, or one of them, was that I've wasted this whole day. I took away the hike, which makes my inner self, like where I do the little me that I'm like practicing self-care and self-love for, kind of made her feel ripped off, right? So there's a part of me that's just feeling like, well, fuck, like you took away the hike, but you didn't give me something different to do. And now I just feel like I just kind of hung out and wasted time and also didn't get to go for a hike. And that sucks. So I'm just feeling like kind of ornery and heavy and feeling like I had the BLAAAHHHS today. And every time I'd like make an attempt to do something beneficial, I would just feel so like my body would just want to be like, ugh, all the way down here. Yeah, just felt heavy, and it felt like everything was kind of a struggle. And upon reflection, I realized I have done a few things, that are considered productive or valuable or whatever. But because I'm stuck in this morass of just like this negative thinking of I've wasted the day, I'm kind of breezing right by them, which is feeding into that. So yeah, it's just been a weird day, and I did some thought work around it. It's a tool that I learned from a coach I really like called a thought ladder, in which you identify the negative thought, which for me, one of them was, I've wasted this whole day. And you write that at the bottom of the page. And then at the top of the page, you write a goal thought. Like, what is something what would I think that would give me an ideal feeling? And so I think at the top of mine, I wrote something like, this has been the best day ever. And I got so much done. Or it was something like, I really lived this day to the fullest or something. That was at the top. And I just do not believe that. I do not feel that. But the exercise is that you've got your shitty thought here, and you've got your ideal, dreamy, good thought here. And then you kind of write progressively better thoughts to fill in that gap that could get you to that goal thought. And you don't have to believe the goal thought today or even tomorrow, but the idea is that somewhere in there you find a thought that feels better and that you can practice and believe and then eventually move on to something better. So one of the things that helped me doing this exercise was that, for one, I don't really believe that anything is ever really wasted. It often feels that way. But that's usually because of like the conditioning I still have about how a good day is super productive and effort. You got to get shit done, right? For it to matter, for it to count. And the other thing is that I am experiencing a feeling of overwhelm because of my thoughts around feeling like I have a billion things to do. And I sort of feel like I didn't really tackle or systematically solve or do any of them today. I did a few things that were needing to be done or worth doing, but it was just a drop in the bucket in the ocean of things that I feel like I should be doing, or it would have really made me feel better if I had done them, but I just couldn't get there today for some reason. It was a real fucking struggle all day to do stuff that I had to do. So anyways, I was looking at that. I was looking at my beliefs about wasting time and is that a thing? And so then I managed to find some thoughts that were a little more compassionate. Like the first thought was kind of like a bullying thought. Like, you wasted this whole day. Like if I was yelling at myself, it was like that. And that doesn't feel good. And that probably explains why I feel like, just someone's like screaming at me, which is me, my own brain. So I found some thoughts kind of in the middle. It wasn't like I lived this day to its fullest, but I found some thoughts that were kinder, that were like, I really did the best I could even though I was struggling today. Or I did some things and maybe I didn't use this day very wisely, or I didn't plan properly, or whatever. It could have been better, but I also did my best. So just kind of like some middle ground thoughts. And that is a really helpful exercise. And if you want to know more, holler, and I will let you know, like, the podcast that I'm listening to. Like, I can actually post links and post more detail or share more detail about that exercise. But anyways, I just wanted to reach out to those of you who might be having one of those days. Those days where it's just kind of like, everything's fine. Like, this hasn't been a bad day. Nothing bad happened. I've just been kind of like in this weird place where I've been feeling heavy and beating myself up kind of like on the down low, and didn't seem to be able to like snap out of it or change it for any significant period of time. Like, I'd have moments where I did something and then felt better, but then I'd kind of fall back into that rut. And you know what? Sometimes that is just a-okay. Like, sometimes it just is that way, and you try again tomorrow, and not every day is going to be this like magical shining, like everything was flowing, and that's okay too. I feel like that would be exhausting. Speaking of school starting, I go to this amazing college, and I have amazing professors, and the people I am with are fantastic, and these classes are just, they're just so juicy and good, and I'm really excited. And I have felt these feelings of like, everything's so good, I need to step away and like calm down and lay on the ground or something and just chill out. So it can go the other way too, where like all this really great shit is happening and I need to just be okay. So when I think about it like that, like maybe it's okay to have a day that just feels kind of like bleh. Because if they all felt amazing and off the charts all the time, that would be exhausting in its own way as well. I'm looking at the time here, and I realized I said I was going to talk about two things. How about this? I talked mostly about the dealing with the BLAAAHHHS, which hopefully this helped and made sense. And if not, please reach out in the comments or wherever and ask me questions or let me know if it helped or didn't or whatever. And I'll give you a preview of what I'll share in the next video. I'll share in the next day or so about what I was going to talk about as well today, but I won't make this too long, was this idea of how I made a decision this semester, and hopefully for my whole life, to stop being so fucking judgmental and upset by others. And what I mean by that is how there's that one person where you're just like, fuck this bitch. Maybe they're at your work. Maybe they're at your school. Maybe they're in your family. I don't know. But there's like maybe a person in your life where if you have to deal with them, you feel bummed out or pissed or just like you know, there's that one person where you're like, fuck, I don't want to be around them. Well, guess what? I'm the kind of person that finds that kind of a person almost everywhere I go. If I go to a meeting, there's someone there. And then I go to a class and there's someone there. And then I have a different class and there's a different someone there. And I just realized today, or not today, earlier, I was looking at the roster for a class and there was a girl that has been kind of like this enemy that I've created. There's all these reasons why I'm annoyed with her or don't like her or whatever. I saw she was in my class and I felt that feeling that like, oh, fuck her, you know, and my mind just starts going and going about how I don't like her and she's annoying and I can't deal with it and I don't want to put up with the whole class, all this stuff that made me feel like shit. And I just had this moment where like all the stuff that I'm teaching you guys about in these videos, I practice it myself too, and I realize this is all just my thinking, and I'm tired of having enemies all the time, and I'm tired of this againstness. Neil Donald Walsh says, cease all againstness. And I love that. And it's easier said than done often. But I just had this moment where I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not doing that again this semester. So I started setting intentions and I started writing about it, and I'm just paving the way where it's like, that was all me creating that misery for me and probably for other people as well. And I'm tired of it. It's exhausting and I want to do it differently. So next video, I'm going to share with you more detail about how I came to that conclusion. I'm going to share what it's been like for me, like realizing that I've been this kind of person and why I think that was and how I've learned how to shift it and how I'm continuing to shift it. And I've already had tremendous results even in the week, essentially, that I've been practicing with this. So great news. I will see you back here in a couple 2-3 days. And thanks again for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye.